Get your stinking rat out. It's Late Night Large.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Late Night Large, or even Lockdown Large Extra Time, where me and Mike chew the fat and discuss some kind of football-related theme. Tonight, we've decided, since I believe it's an international break, we decided to debate amongst ourselves, since the millennium, so the last 20 years, what the best England 11 we can come up with is. We tried to hammer out some kind of framework before we started. So, like I say, it's going to be the last 20 years. We decided to stick to a 4-4-2 since that has been the average formation. It's only very recently we've erred from that. So even though that's going to be quite rigid, we're sticking to 4-4-2, see if we can get a finest 11 from 2000 to 2020. And speaking of 20, here comes the timer. So let's start her up, and here we go. Right, Mike, first of all, let's go for goalkeepers. Come on, let's throw some suggestions out.
Fucking two. Sorry, what are you saying?
Goalkeepers. Mike Large, not Mike Bassett.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to channel my inner Mike Bassett. I thought that would help.
Are we saying that? I mean, David Seaman technically was still in goal in 2000. Are we saying that he's a contender?
Yes, Seaman went to 2002, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So I'd say, I think that's probably one we can agree on. Can you think of a better goalkeeper than David Seaman?
No, I was quickly trying to rattle through them. I mean, we've had, to be honest, we're pretty pitiful. We've had Paul Robinson, Joe Hart, Scott Carson. I mean, David James, really. I honestly, I would struggle to say we've had an outstanding goalkeeper at all since David Seaman. Jordan Pickford, I don't think has convinced anyone that he's got more than one great tournament in him. So that's an easy one. Then we're putting the Seaman in at number one. And right, okay,
straight in with the Seaman.
Yeah, we love a bit of Seaman. So in the moving on to the defence, then, Mike, who we have in? Should we just go position by position? So what about right back? There.
It's got to be G, hasn't it?
I mean, yeah, but even as a United fan, Gary Neville was quite a limited footballer. I get that he was a very functional defender, and at his best, he was a very effective elite level right back. So yeah, I mean, he's in there. Again, is there a lot of competition? We got Danny Mills, Glenn Johnson. Who's currently playing there? Who do we currently have in that kind of position? I mean, then
we've got like.
No. Here we go. Hang on, we've got. I mean, you've got the new kid on the block, who has been dire most of this season, but before that was outstanding. Trent, got Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I think.
Has he done enough?
I think you talk about great players. You talk about longevity. For me, it's G-Nev. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, I think Trent has to be in there, particularly for what else he can offer with his set piece delivery. You've also got.
Yeah, but we might not need that. We've got the rest of the team, haven't we?
All right, but you could argue we've never been so well blessed at right back. You've got Wan-Bissaka. You've got. Who am I thinking of? There's some really good right backs at the moment, better than we've had in. I don't know. In fact, you could argue this is the best we've ever been in terms of right backs. To be honest, I think it's going to come between Trent and Gary Neville. You say Gary Neville. I'm going to say, despite my hatred of Liverpool, I'm going to say Trent Alexander-Arnold. So,
what? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We come to it.
We'll come back to that position at the end. Okay, what about left back? What are we saying on left back? Is there much competition here? Are we going to say anyone other than Ashley Cole?
It's got to be Cashley, isn't it?
I think Cashley,
as much of a fanny as he is.
He is a fanny, but Cashley, I think, I don't think anyone even comes close. Even Luke Shaw at the top of his game is not Cashley level. So Cashley is left back. Right, we've got a few centre backs to go through. What do we think, Mike?
Go on.
We got technically in 2000 we still had Tony Adams. We got Ledley King, who I think was pretty class, even though obviously he struggled with injuries. We got wife shagger JT. We've got Rio Ferdinand, obviously. Sol Campbell. I mean, who are the? I'm trying to think of the current centre backs.
Fuck them. The shit, Maguire, shit like that.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
Stones is alright.
Stones has got a lot better.
Now again.
Yeah, Stones still has to prove that he's permanently back on that higher level. Okay.
I mean, look, for me initially, then.
Yeah.
I don't think there's. I think we're looking at the earlier part.
Yeah.
Of the 20 years that we're looking at, rather than the latter part. So for me, initially I'd go Ferdinand, Terry, and then I'd probably look at, well, actually, who could squeeze either of them out.
I gotta say, I'd put Adams. I'd put Tony Adams ahead of John Terry.
Adams over Terry.
Yeah, I would. I think he was generally a better defender. Not hugely better, but he was a better defender. And he was a better leader who didn't shag each other's wives or racially abuse his partner's brother.
Hang on, we can't kick people out of the team for that sort of business.
No, I'm not saying that. No, but I genuinely think Tony Adams was a better defender. Not that he was less of a cunt, even though he was. So for me, it's Tony Adams and Rio. But what do you think?
You go Adams, Rio.
Yeah,
Adams, Rio.
Adams and Rio.
Rio, your number one then?
What?
Would Rio be your top kid? If you had to pick one?
Yeah, I think Rio would be, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
If you look at everything
do you know what? I'll tell you what. We are a team here on Lockdown Large, right? We are. Sometimes we can present, kind of a less unified front, but ultimately we are as one. So let's compromise. Let's say Rio, Tony, right?
Right.
But we stick G-Nev at right back.
Right.
We've got to agree on it, haven't we? We've got to agree on the 11.
All right, fine, yeah.
So let's.
I think I have to say I think Gary Neville, it is only his longevity, and I mean, yeah, he did make a howler or two, but generally he wasn't dire at tournaments, so his longevity just gets him in
Dyer.
There.
Dyer, there's a player that's not getting in.
No, I don't think he's going to be anywhere.
So right, so what we've got is we got Seaman.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful thing to have. We've got
too much Seaman.
Cashley, Rio, Adams, G-Nev. Yeah, that's the back five then.
Right, that's our back five. I think that'd be fairly solid.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. All right, so midfield.
Midfield. Right, so we got the 4-4-2 on the go, haven't we? So
yeah. So being the Mike Bassets, shall we start with? Okay, let's start with the hardest. Who's going to fill that fucking left-hand side that always killed the England team? Are we going to just jam some leftover that we couldn't fit anywhere else on the left, like Sven-Goran Eriksson did, or are we going to genuinely try someone who at least had some kind of a left foot, or are we going to put an inverted winger there?
Let's say, hypothetically then, let's say we don't just squeeze out another player just because they're too great to leave out.
Yeah.
Let's say we actually think of someone who would have actually played there, potentially for their club, a legitimate left midfield, if you like, even if it's not necessarily their first position. Yeah. So, you got midfielders that would play on the left or the right, for example, but someone who you could look at and say, yes, okay, they fit as a left midfielder.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck have we got? I mean, if you do that,
we got. I mean,
I would argue. Go on.
The only one I can think of is Steve McManaman. But yeah, go on.
Well, we've got some shit as well, haven't we? Downing. But I'll tell you what, I would say, what about Joe Cole?
Yeah, I mean, ability-wise, I can see that. He was very inconsistent for England, but Joe Cole's got to be in the shout. So we got what, McManaman, Cole. Who do we kind of have? I mean, the problem is if we're comparing modern day England, we don't tend to have left-sided wingers. It's going to be, someone like Rashford, who's actually on the left side of attack, that's not going to be patrolling the flank the way a 4-4-2. So we can't really include a lot of modern day players in that because they don't fulfil that role. So McManaman, Joe Cole. Who did?
Go on.
Who did Roy Hodgson used to stick on the left-hand side? I guess you could make a case. For Gareth Barry? No, actually, he was never a left midfielder, was he? He was either a left.
Milner.
Yeah.
He played all across there.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think it's probably. I think we're going to.
Or
what?
Or do we not do that? Or do we not say it has to be a more conventional left midfielder? And do we shove a Scholesy or something there?
You just said we couldn't do that.
No, what I'm saying is, if we looked at it that way, who would we pick?
Okay.
I didn't say we had to do it that way.
Okay. So I'd make the argument. Okay, I'm going to make the argument. If we want a traditional left-sided winger or inverted winger, or at least inverted left-sided midfielder, personally, I would pick McManaman over Cole because I think McManaman was generally better for England than Cole was, more consistent. However,
better in an English shirt, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why we're picking the team. And I mean, I'd argue he had a better career than Joe Cole as well. I mean, he played for Real Madrid. He won a Champions League. He scored in the Champions League final. Anyway, other than that, do I think McManaman is better than Scholes, Gerrard or Lampard? No. So therein comes the argument. Do you put a genuine inverted winger or left midfielder there, or do you just stick?
I'll tell you what. Let's come back to that once we've decided the other three midfield positions.
Okay.
So let's go over to the right. Convince me not to put Beckham there.
Well, I mean that's a pretty obvious pick, isn't it? I mean, even if you don't agree that Beckham is the best right-sided midfielder that there has been for England in the last 20 years, I don't think you can make a case that he wasn't the best performer generally in qualifying and international tournaments who played on the right midfield. So I'd struggle. I mean, who else are you going to have? Aaron Lennon? Or, I mean, who have we got now? Again, I mean, you could make an argument modern day Trent, you push him further forward, but I mean, it's got to be Beckham, hasn't it? Particularly with the set piece deliveries and stuff. I don't think
Bex is on the right. Plus, that doesn't matter that we've gone G-Neb over Trent, then, does it?
No, because they'll have a relationship up and down. Okay, so then we're looking at. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of any other contenders for the right, just to make it as if we've tried deciding it, but I don't think there is really. So
it's excellent. It's golden balls.
So yeah, central midfield then, Mike. Who we put in centre?
Well, centre midfield. Let's not fuck about. All right, we know we've got a decision to make here. We've got Scholesy, Lampard, and Gerrard, haven't we?
Yeah. So those are the.
I mean, who else?
Central midfield. Carrick, I would argue. The only reason why Carrick probably wouldn't get a look in is because he was generally quite poor for England. But if you'd had him as a deep line pivot who was just a playmaker spraying passes around, I think he'd be fantastic. Owen Hargreaves.
Yeah.
Because the argument you have is, can Gerrard and Lampard, does that equal a balanced midfield? You know, who's the ball winner? Who's covering the defence when the other charges forward? This is the problem. So there's an argument.
I mean, we could talk all day and all night about, you know, whether they worked or whether they should have worked or whether they should have done better. But given the option, would you saying you definitely wouldn't play them together?
I would, yeah. Because why would I make the same mistake as every England manager? I mean, we'll decide it in a minute, but personally, I would drop Lampard. I would drop Lampard and I'd play Gerrard and probably Owen Hargreaves, because I think that would be the best balance. I think that would be the best balance. And then you could have Beckham and McManaman, or Cole, but McManaman, I would say. Beckham and McManaman bombing up the flanks. Hargreaves patrols the back four. Gerrard is charging around doing what he does. Lampard's no good at defensive work. We know this. Lampard, decent passer, times his runs well, has about 50 shots a game that generally fly into the crowd. But yeah, I would go for Gerrard and Hargreaves. What about you?
I can't believe you've not put Lampard or Scholes in. I honestly didn't think anyone else would. I've been racking my brain thinking, yeah, don't get me wrong, I like Hargreaves.
No, I know. I'll explain why I didn't put Paul Scholes in there. Do I think Gerrard is a better footballer than Paul Scholes? Not really. But Gerrard's skill set at least has an ability to time a tackle when his head's in the game. Scholes,
how dare you? Scholes, he was a brilliant tackler.
Yeah, okay. So, you know. So I'm going to go with Gerrard and Hargreaves. And bear in mind, I hate Liverpool, so you know that is an opinion that's founded in logic.
I don't know why you need to be so negative. I think that's negative. Why? What do you mean? Who's like?
Look, Mike, we're running out of time here, so we've got to fill this out. So who would you put in centre midfield? Come on, quick. Who's your decision?
Oh, shush, boy. We've got time.
Oh, not according to the pig.
Fuck the pig, and I will.
You David Cameron.
I've done worse. Do you know what?
Go on.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I don't. I think.
Jesus.
I think I do. I think I would repeat the same mistake.
You would, wouldn't you?
I think I would. I think I'd have Fat Frank and Stevie G in the middle. So Gerrard is box to box. Gerrard can defend. Gerrard can tackle.
In his prime, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're not talking like.
So hang on.
Obviously, we can.
So you put Gerrard and Lampard in central mid, and McManaman on the left,
and Scholesy on the left. Yeah.
On that fucking hell. All right, quickly, strikers. I'm gonna come straight out and say it. Rooney and Kane.
Not Shearer then.
No.
Not Alan Shearer.
No.
Not Alan Shearer. No. Okay. I'm gonna come out and say it. You're wrong. Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney.
Mike, I'm not being funny, but what was Alan Shearer's ratio for England compared to Harry Kane? I think you'll find Harry Kane has quite a substantially better goal scoring ratio for England.
He might do, yeah. But I'm saying if I was picking a team and they all played at the same time,
yeah,
and I was playing a 4-4-2, and it was England, and everyone was in the league at the same time,
yeah,
I'd pick Shearer.
All right. Do you know what we should have said? What we should have said is, instead of time's up. So what we should have said is, we're not going to agree. We're going to have an England 11 against each other to see who wins. So the final
How would we
11.
play that out?
Sorry?
How would we play that out, though?
I don't know. It'd be for other people to judge. So the final 11s. My final 11 would be, and this is most functional and most likely to win, I believe, England 11. It would be Seaman of the last 20 years. Seaman in goal. I'm going to go for Trent Alexander-Arnold just to spite you at right back. I'm going to go for Cashley, obviously, at left back. Rio and Tony Adams. And then I'm having Hargreaves at the base in midfield. Gerrard's roaming. McManaman on the left, Beckham on the right, and we're having Kane and a teenage Rooney up front, with Rooney kind of maybe dropping deep and linking and playing on the shoulder, whatever he wants to do. He'll have to work out with Harry Kane. What's your 11, Mike? Come on.
This poor Seaman, right? Seaman, Cashley, Rio.
Yeah.
I was going with Adams as well. I was prepared to go with Adams, and you've just ruined it. I was trying to be friends. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'll go with Adams actually anyway. Adams, Rio, Nev.
Okay.
Bex.
Yeah.
On the right. Fucking hell. Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes. That is fucking just. We know it doesn't work, Michael.
Yeah, we know it doesn't.
I can't not put them all in. I'm a wanker. I'm weak. What fucking sue me?
Yep.
And then up front, Shearer and Wazza.
Rooney and Shearer up front. Yeah.
Yeah.
No looking for Michael Owen. No Michael Owen. No.
Michael, don't get me wrong. Michael Owen. Yeah, we all know that. I understand the what he was good for. No.
Okay.
I'm not nothing against Harry Kane. He's a fantastic goal scorer.
Right. All right. No.
But in their peak, is Kane better than Shearer?
Calm down. Right. So that's the 2 11s. So, lockdown large listeners, hit us a comment or a like or a dislike. Let us know which 11 is more likely to beat the other, because I think Mike's just gone for all the shinies. And I've gone.
Well, yours is defensive. Yours is defensive. You don't want Frank because he doesn't defend, or as well. Forget about the fucking goals he'll score.
I've got fucking Cashley and Trent bombing up, supporting Beckham and McManaman. How is that defensive?
Oh, that's so attacking. That's not attacking.
We'll see, Mike. We'll see who destroys the other. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's Lockdown Large Extra Time. Like I say, please let us know what you thought, or whose team you think would win, or if you have any suggestions at what we've cocked up on, which players have missed out of the last 20 years of England teams. And until next time, we will grow you later.